Hey, how's it going? How you doing? What's up? So I don't really know how I'm going to start these videos, but I am trying to do a little bit more of where I jump on and just kind of throw some thoughts out there about different things that I think about. In this instance, a reaction to something that's happening today in the entertainment industry. And that is the announcement that Netflix is winning the bidding war over Warner Brothers and is going to walk away with some of your favorite franchises like Harry Potter and the DC Universe and do what Netflix does. I don't have all the information, but what I can do is give you a really quick summary of what's happened. And that's essentially that there's this bidding war over who was going to purchase Warner Brothers, which was kind of a long time coming, to be honest with you. The old studio system's pretty dead. What was happening is that I think there were like three potential buyers in the mix: Comcast, NBC Universal, Paramount, who had just been acquired by Skydance, and then you had Netflix, who won the bidding war. What Netflix is doing that's different from what the others are trying to do is Netflix is only purchasing the studio assets, meaning, they want that IP, that delicious IP that they can farm forever. They're not as much interested in some of the other assets that Warner Brothers might have, which is something like network television channels. There's still a lot of things that they have to work on to finally close this deal. And I think they're optimistically seeing that as a Q3 2026 kind of thing. So yes, I called this video The Day Hollywood Died, although that's not going to happen for a while, actually, in terms of what eventually Netflix is going to do with Warner Brothers. But the thing, that's what I want to talk about, what Netflix likely ends up doing with Warner Brothers and with the intellectual property and with everything that they're acquiring through this purchase. What I think Netflix is going to do is do the same thing that every other sort of studio and tech company and corporation that's creating what classifies as entertainment today is already trying to do. And that is create content that captures viewers. Netflix is kind of the chief example of a company that obsesses over capturing audience views and maintaining audience views, but doing it in a sort of mechanical way. Every decision Netflix makes and everything that they're trying to do is run through algorithms. Anything that you can think of that basically gives you data points to be able to make decisions that you think will then result in a person consuming more content on your platform. It is such a mechanical, marketing-minded approach to entertainment that it's kind of ruined all of entertainment. Netflix has really kind of invented the game about this. So here's why that matters in terms of what they're doing with Warner Brothers, and that is Netflix does not care about the traditional movie industry. And so they'll say they're going to do certain things with these films and this intellectual property and everything that Warner Brothers was doing that sounds like they're supportive of movie theaters, as a for instance. But the reality is they don't care. They don't care about movie theaters. They'll have some kind of deal in place that will likely release theatrical films over the next few years. But there will come a point in time, I think, where you will no longer have Warner Brothers movies in theaters. So don't listen to them as they say, oh, this is what we're going to do. What their intention of doing is to control all that intellectual property and ultimately try to monopolize viewership specifically on their platform. Where does that put an independent filmmaker like myself? There's nowhere to go for independent filmmakers. We are not welcome right now in the industry at large. And that's primarily because there's no reason for us. Everything is so mechanically and digitally controlled that it doesn't matter if the content is good or not. The goal is to make people watch it anyway. And so an independent filmmaker's goal, like myself, is to tell a story that an audience enjoys. What this acquisition does is it continues to remove the opportunity from the marketplace for an independent filmmaker to make it. And when I say an independent filmmaker, I mean like talented storytellers, because what's going to happen, and this is where the other piece comes in about why this is the day Hollywood died. The other piece that comes is artificial intelligence and the role that that's playing in creating content. I don't care what you hear or what you think. Every single studio is trying to get to, we can use AI to create anything we want. And then we have a streaming platform where we put all of that AI generated content. And then whoever can hypnotize the most audience members with that wins. I mean, that's essentially the game. Where I think the industry really is going to be challenged in this moment is the release of a new model on this AI platform called Kling that is able to do some things visual effects wise that were really difficult to do before. One of them being like changing time of day in a shot, or potentially generating new angles of a shot. What AI is doing that Netflix is also doing in this moment is killing the old model of Hollywood. That is why this is the day Hollywood died. What we used to think of as Hollywood, especially the elements of Hollywood that are driven by unions, is dead. There's no use for it anymore. And the biggest mistake that the film industry is making, the biggest mistake that filmmakers are making, is trying to maintain that system. And so it's really, really exciting to be an independent filmmaker. What Netflix has just done with purchasing Warner Brothers, and where it gets difficult, is closing the pathways to exhibition. That's the real question. That's the thing I find fascinating. I'm trying to figure out, and I'm really diving deep into, is how do you get your content in front of an audience that's monetized in a way where you can do it over and over and over again. And that's not solved. It's not as easy as just put your movie up on YouTube. That is not the case anymore, because YouTube is clamping down with their algorithm changes and how much they want to pay out to creators. It is hard. I'm equal parts kind of cynical about the future of the industry, but the optimistic takeaway of it is that nobody's figured this out. Everybody's lying. It is the Wild West. I really think there are some people out there that are going to be able to figure it out in terms of how to maintain that human touch on storytelling and find a way for audiences to experience those stories in a way that allows the creators to benefit financially from it. So super optimistic about the future, while at the same time also seeing just kind of seeing the writing on the wall for the old Hollywood. So that's for anybody watching this who's kind of interested, sort of hey, this video was too long, I wanted to skip ahead to this point and hear your final thought. It's this: the old Hollywood is not coming back. If you don't like it, cancel your Netflix subscription and go find the creators that you actually really enjoy and figure out a way to help monetize them. It may not be you directly, but help monetize them to be able to tell the stories that you're looking to tell. That's where I think the industry is going. I think it's that direct creator to audience member, localized approach to telling those stories, and forget about, putting your content on YouTube and finding this global audience. It's just not going to happen the way it used to. So those are my thoughts. Remember how I mentioned that I have no idea how to open this kind of a video? Well, guess what? I have no idea how to close it, other than if I'm a creator that you find interesting and would love to see more of. Hey, best thing you can do, whether it's me or anybody else that you really enjoy, go sign up for all of their stuff that they have. If you're subscribed to my YouTube channel or follow me on Facebook or whatever, go to my company website, huffmediapro.com. Go find the stuff. See if I'm a creator that you would potentially enjoy, and just make sure that you're following me in all those places. And thanks for watching.